Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bregaton. Let's go look for our companions and the Commissar. A familiar sense of unreality rolls in, breaking the connection between body and mind. Alright.
I always keep my options open.
Not gonna try that yet.
Always keep your eye on the price. Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Hoping this doesn't lock us out if we fail the first time. Down to 1%. Oh, we're perplexed. Well, that's lame. Well, I guess I'm not going to try any more of those.
Let us not dawdle.
The razor-sharp keel of the flying craft glints fearsomely in the dim light. A flash of searing pain causes the contents of your skull to burst into flames. I hope they mean figuratively. This transport adorned with massive blades would make for a deadly weapon on the battlefield. Oh, the anatomical opera. The Archon took all the valuable prisoners we captured during the raid. The scum is worthless. Have mercy. You do not need us, let us go. In a way, that is exactly what we're going to do. Civitas pattern autogun. But more importantly, better armor.
I always have a backup plan.
Now, that area's not labeled.
Keep your wits about you.
Not this way, meat. Fair enough. So the arena, the anatomical opera, or back to the pit. I'm assuming this is where we need to go. We know Abelard is in the Mangled Sector. Oh, okay.
Is there money to be made?
This profane device is designed to set the elevator into motion only when wretched victims die inside the device. Oh.
I always keep my options open. Let us not dawdle.
So I thought we'd been through here already, but it looks like it's been repopulated.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
Have you heard of the Laughing Racer? One who dies in the arena every time, then stands up alive and walks away. I have indeed. It's a tall tale. The Laughing Racer. Killer of vagabonds. Nonsense. I'm shaking in my boots. Huh, the Laughing Racer. Now the Urgle that's been roaming around here, that is something to be afraid of.
I always have a backup plan.
This must be the chute that carried your unconscious body down here. Not gonna try and shoot that yet.
Is there money to be made?
Just keep in mind that once we get some companions, we have to make our way back around this area. The hideous mutant does not look as cocky as the last time you met. Armed and not bleeding from 100 wounds, it must be a more formidable sight. How about buying yourself a pair of boots? The beggar shows off his filthy legs, and surprisingly decent boots. Your boots. Yeah, kill him. And a life as lightless as yours is a laudable deed. The beggar refuses to die easily. He is desperately clinging to his life, choking on his own blood. Eventually, his protracted agony reaches its end. Oh, sucks to suck, buddy. They say the wreck walks the streets again, collecting wretches for the homunculus, so that he can harvest their organs. But what can you do? That's life in the spires. Yeah. Is he gonna come back again? Or maybe he's the Laughing Racer these other guys were talking about. Oops, took the wrong exit.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Whoever tried to settle in this vile place, their fortitude did not carry them far.
I always keep my options open.
We can try this one.
Failure is just a temporary setback.
Yeah, but now we're also fatigued. Looks like we can't try that one again either. Yeah, so Kimura isn't in perfect shape. We got lucky with our commander. Commissar is a fierce fighter and no mistake. There's actually a hole in the webway at the bottom of Kimura where demons are spilling in constantly. Kind of like underneath the Imperial Palace. A rogue trader. Sister Argenta greets you with a glowing gaze and a confident smile. The God Emperor did not forsake his chosen one. I prayed that our paths would cross once more. Argenta gestures at everyone around her. Your arrival is timely indeed. With the Emperor's chosen on our side, we can come out of hiding and exact vengeance upon the enemies of humanity. But I shouldn't take up your time. Speak instead to the Commissar, one who leads these valiant souls. He'll tell you everything you need to know. What happened to you after we ran into that trap? My memory betrays me. I lost consciousness soon after they dragged us into the shadows. I came to in a filthy arena. It set some clawed beast against me. When I slew it, they sent another. I killed them all, one after another, and the unseen spectators demanded more and more. At last I had an opportunity. One of the beasts I fought damaged the enclosure, and I managed to escape the arena. You should have seen how quickly the scum who whooped and cheered from the stand set off after me. I forced a path with sword and bolter, and wandered for a long time in darkness. Then I wound up here, where a loyal servant of the Emperor found me, and gave me a chance to serve him again. Who is this Commissar you speak of? A loyal servant of the Emperor who has not lost the will to fight, even in this impenetrable gloom. He has mustered a resistance. Everyone who can hold a weapon and refuses to accept the fate of a toy in the clutch... Yeah, the fate of a toy that clutches of vile Xenos. The dwellers of these dungeons are myriad, and most are lacking in soul, courage, or willpower. The Commissar and his associates seek out the true champions of the Imperium among them, to prepare those people for the battle against the Xenos. Providence itself has brought me here. I assisted the Commissar in his search in hopes of finding you among the captives. I devoted myself to helping the faithful, yet frail pluck up their strength and guiding the able, yet desperate toward hope. And my efforts have already borne fruit. 2 squads have gone on a scouting mission to discover a safe passage out of Kimura. Yeah, good luck. A gesture at Argenta's audience. Who are these people? I found them. Subjects of the Imperium who were taken to this den of misery and despair, scattered across this vast chasm. They were condemned to suffer for the amusement of enemies of humanity, but the beasts were wrong in thinking we would simply resign ourselves to our fate. I share my faith in the future with them, the future that we will claim with his name upon our lips. Argenta, a grim task brings me here. I must kill the Commissar. There's a subtle change in Argenta's gleaming eyes. They begin to resemble glowing embers. Perhaps this accursed place has afflicted you after all. You speak of madness that is tantamount to heresy, but you'd be beheading the resistance and leaving these adamant hearts, his faithful, without a leader. I cannot let that come to pass, rogue trader. I hope you do not intend to execute this plan in earnest. You will join me, will you not? Argenta looks at the people around her and nods. I have served the resistance for as long as I could. My duty to these people was done. It is high time I rejoined you and pursued my original mission. But first, allow me to offer a few final words of guidance to my flock. Argenta turns to her audience, and her voice fills with a zealous fire. Servants of the Emperor, children of humanity, be strong in your resolve and pure in your faith, for our deliverance is at hand. Steel your hearts, for a great trial lies ahead of us all, but the reward for passing it is freedom. Fantastic, and we've leveled up. The crate is filled with makeshift lasgun batteries and crudely made autogun ammo.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Alright, does she have the weapons equipped? Okay. Oh, we can do this. I miss my family. I miss them so much.
Keep your wits about you.
Is this the one that we looked at earlier? Yeah, because that's a save.
I always have a backup plan.
Makeshift Aquila looks somewhat pitiful, but the evident diligence and passion that went into its creation speaks of the piety of its makers.
Let us not dawdle.
Alright, let's level up real quick. Get an Exemplar talent and a second tier Archetype talent. Yeah, let's do Attention. I think that's what I was going to grab next. After an ally takes an extra turn provided by the character, the ally gains plus 7% armor, plus 7% dodge, and plus 3 movement points until the end of combat. Does not stack. I guess we'll do Words of Endurance. Whenever the Vanguard's ally in a 2-cell radius around them is hit, the Vanguard grants that ally plus 8 temporary wounds, once per round for each ally. In Argenta, same stuff. I got to go through and mark which ones I wanted. Just need never penetration with the Flamer. Probably Extermination. So any damage the character deals is increased by +1 for every attack they've made this combat. Does not affect damage over time effects, bleeding, burning, or toxin. I just want to double check. Yeah, let's just go with Extermination. And I might just go ahead and grab the Emperor Protects. The Devotee gains a 3% chance to ignore any enemy attack. I don't know, do we get any more common talents? We do, so I might hold on to that until then. We'll do All Out. As long as the Arch-Militant has stacks of versatility, Reckless Rush costs 0 action points, which she starts with versatility, so that'll always be free. The stately man in a commissar's coat and a tall service cap greets you with the sign of the Aquila and a solemn announcement. Another loyal servant of the throne has found his way to us through these confounded catacombs. Fear not. Approach. If you have faith in the Emperor, you'll find only allies here. I make the Aquila. The Emperor protects. Indeed, the Emperor protects. The Commissar's imperious, booming voice repeats your call, and the rest follow suit. Look at the Commissar. One might think that the archetypical Commissars from Imperial Guard propaganda posters are all life drawings of this man. He has a large and powerful jaw, his eyes are hard and fearless, and the small scar over his brow adds a certain rugged charm to his features. His coat, though worn, has been diligently cleaned and mended, and the skull on his tall cap has been polished to a shine. Who are you? Ben replies with clip precision. Commissar Ayako Sotny, but my brothers and sisters in arms prefer to call me simply the Commissar. I was assigned to a regiment of the Bekenshin Zouaves, or Zouaves, and I fought in the battle for the world of Commalt Secundus, where I was wounded and taken prisoner while unconscious. Having recovered from my wounds, I carry on fighting the wicked Xenos as the head of the local resistance cell, which I founded. The Commissar's speech is vehement and decisive. My valorous comrades and I sabotage the enemy's activities while we devise our plan of escape. Keep up the good work, Commissar Sotny. We will do. We stand for the Imperium. The Commissar turns his burning gaze to his fighters, and they erupt in a roar of battle cries. And what does your resistance do? The Commissar observes his humble army and says with enthusiasm, our first ongoing objective is to keep bolstering our ranks by seeking out prisoners who haven't yet lost faith and willingness to oppose our nefarious jailers. Sorry, I lost my place. Our second priority is to arm ourselves and train. I teach my soldiers the basics of guard tactics in order to mold them into a fully fledged assault unit. Most importantly, we gather information and plot our escape. And the day when we pave the road to freedom with the corpses of detestable Xenos is nigh. Commissar's rallying shout makes his people square their shoulders, proudly straighten their backs, and respond with a fierce war cry. What were the circumstances of your capture? We engaged the enemy on the world of Commalt Secundus and the Marcane marches of the Mangled Sector. The loathsome foes of humanity were known to launch raids in the area, so we received orders to defend the good subjects of the Imperium. When the profaners descended upon us, we gave them no quarter. The enemy was routed, and my unit drove them back to their ships. Our counterattack drove a wedge into their advancing horde and thwarted the invasion, but it also meant that we were cut off on both flanks and surrounded. We fought valiantly for several hours to stop the enemy ranks from reforming for a new onslaught, until we depleted our munitions reserves. By that time, our superior officers had already fallen, so I led my people in a bayonet charge. We taught the Xenos a lesson in blood, and then, I have no memory of how the battle ended. I came to consciousness in this foul place, disarmed and on the verge of death. I thought I'd die, but it's not yet time for the Emperor to release me from his service. I require medical assistance. The Commissar examines you critically. You do not look too badly injured. We are suffering from a severe shortage of medical supplies. Better to save what we have for critical situations. Malice sent me here for your head. However, I have no desire to cause you harm. The Commissar lets out a contemptuous laugh and nods approvingly at you. That scowled miscreant has long since wanted me dead. He craves my soldiers. He forced us from our base to this perilous place. But he will pay for his scheme soon, once my plan is set in motion. It is a disgrace to serve one such as he. You ought to join our ranks instead. Together, we'll break out of this accursed city. I mean, I could take charge too. I was once a Commissar, and now I'm a rogue trader. What is your escape plan? I guess it's better not to throw any hiccups into the chain of command, since some of these guys probably weren't fighters before. The Commissar's speech is brisk and energetic. Some of our own have captured a small Xenos ship that was moored for repairs at a remote unused dock. They eliminated the crew quietly, but left the pilot alive to sail the ship back to real space. We can get to the dock through a dimensional portal located at our old base. Was it Sergeant Vigastus' squad that was tasked with capturing the ship? Did he survive? The Emperor protected him, and he did not fail the Emperor. Vigastus is in good health and waiting for us to arrive. Regrettably, Malice and his Shriekers drove us out and took over the base. The first order of business will be to confront him there. I propose that you take him by surprise and deliver the first strike. We'll support the attack from the outside. The Commissar's plan is bold, and the odds of it succeeding are bleak. However, it seems improbable that anyone in Camorra is prepared for such a decisive, covert action from the city's prisoners, so the Commissar and his people have the element of surprise on their side. Who are the people under your command? The core of my unit is composed of prisoners from various Astra Militarum regiments, and a number of planetary guards. They form the assault squad that went on the special operation under Sergeant Vigastus' command. The rest are common people who had the misfortune of being captured by Xenos. Serfs, nobility, administratum clerks, technomats, woodworkers, monks. Anyone who found the courage to take up arms. The only kinds you won't find here are heretics, lawbreakers, and cowards. Trust me, Donald. These people can be relied upon. In their darkest hour, they found a source of resolve and faith, and each among them is ready to give their life for their righteous cause. Many already have. How have you managed to accomplish so much? Every morsel of intelligence we have acquired, and every step of progress we have made, was paid for in blood and pain. The information about the dying cabal that dreads entering the docks of its enemies, and its said moors in an abandoned area, was forced out of captive Xenos. The knowledge of the portal was bought in exchange for one half of all the weapons we had stockpiled, and taking that ship cost us several lives, each of which was worth more than this whole blasted city. I shall join you. The Commissar laughs and exclaims approvingly. My brothers and sisters in arms, a new fighter has joined our ranks. The Emperor's grace is with us. I have other business to attend to. Farewell and keep the faith. The Emperor protects, brother. Alright.
I always keep my options open.
The low vibration that permeates this space is the death throes of atoms becoming nothing.
Join me in prayer. Doubt is for the weak.
Oh! I find it hard to believe in second chances.
All that for a knife.
Always keep your eye on the prize. Oh! I won't let it define me.
Yeah, it didn't have a percentage. I wasn't sure if there was an actual check. The Xenos' ornate clothes and solid-looking armor are kicked in his boiled insides.
Is there money to be made? I'm on your side, remember?
When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
The otherworldly shimmer of nothingness promises peace and quiet.
The Emperor sets my path. I'll do it. As the Emperor commands, I act.
I mean, pretty good odds of that. And there's Abelard, so we have to make it across. Patharina, where are you? I have lost you. I have lost you all. Let's look around first. Looking at the revolting puddle of ichor that reeks of suffering, you can barely make out what remains of the bones of some unfortunate soul that appeared to have been digested and regurgitated. As indicated by the bloody trail, a body was recently dragged through here,
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust.
Found the means to get to that anyway. Alright, Abelard. You barely recognize your loyal seneschal, Abelard Versarion, in this pitiful hunchback figure. His officer's bearing, his broad shoulders, his direct and piercing gaze, all gone without a trace. What you see before you is a decrepit, quivering old man, rummaging through malodorous refuse, mumbling under his breath. It takes you a second to make sense of his hoarse lisp. Quatharina, love. White amasecond fruits. Of course, love. The children are making mischief again. Quatharina, where are you? The old man's frail voice is laden with tenderness and longing. Seneschal, this is your Lord Captain speaking. Oh, Quatharina. Abelard laughs faintly, and immediately launches into a bout of coughing. A deep lines run across his face, and a blurry film of cataracts clouds his eyes. The drive stems are at it again. Another council session. Another appeal to the Logitiums. They will never be satisfied, love. They make us and our children disappear. Perhaps we should just give in. You always say that Argonis is not your home, love. Abelard is looking past you at someone only he can see. There's a timid smile on his trembling lips. Would you like that, love? Would you rather leave it all behind, go somewhere far away, away from our toils? So we do the dogmatic option, but he is iconoclast. I feel like it doesn't entirely fit. Of course, I feel like this would trigger him and bring him to his senses. A seneschal. The addendum Prefectorium Militarum to the Tactica Imperium states that an army officer of the Imperium who submits to two-third degree Xeno influence or higher is to be considered a traitor and a heretic. I'll have no heretics under my command, seneschal. I order you to conquer this illusion at once. Get to it, officer. Abelard flinches. His brow furrows, and a glow lights up in his watering eyes. Heretic. I recommend that you brush up on your regulations before accusing an officer. The addendum primum arandum abolished the xeno-influence categorization, and therefore... His vision somewhat cleared. Abelard looks at you and takes a shuddering breath. Saint's blood, Lord Captain. You're alive. With a groan, Abelard tries to straighten his hunched back. Thank the God Emperor death has not found you yet. Then again, given the circumstances, it may be for the worst. What happened to you? Abelard is racked by an old man's hacking cough. The thrice-blasted Xeno simply chucked me aside like a piece of rubbish. I went to look for you, or for help, and I ended up here. This is where it found me, that thing. Memory fails me. All I can remember is bits and pieces, and needles. It pumps something out of me, and it pumps something in. I seem to be in one piece, except that creature. Abelard tries to wipe his stained coat with a trembling hand. How should I put this? Its needles siphon the strength out of me. I feel older by a good decade or two. He touches his face and exclaims in surprise. My word, I think I am older. That could be why I started seeing things. I never thought I'd live long enough to go senile. What was the thing that attacked you? He shudders. A spawn of nightmares. So ghastly, my mind refuses to picture a clear image of it. Nothing but meat, metal, and many, many needles. It feasted on me. Feasted on my very soul. It would have devoured me whole if it hadn't gorged itself on another before me. We'll find a way to restore your time to you, Seneschal. Pray, Lord Captain. There's enough strength in this body yet. Your Seneschal will not be so easily broken by some. He groans and clutches his side. I could just use a brief respite. Who is Quatharina? Abelard gives you a tense, embarrassed look. My late wife, Lord Captain. I think, in the time I wandered around here, my sanity may have suffered. A temporary lapse, I hope. It appears my mind can no longer stomach the kind of horrors this place has to offer. I saw her by my side. I saw a different time. A different place. Where are the others? I have not the faintest idea, your lordship. All I can say is, if I manage to survive down here, the others stand a chance too. There are no weaklings in your retinue. Well, I, for one, have had enough of this heap of filth. It's time to move, Abelard. I cannot agree more, Lord Captain. I serve House von Valancius. Abelard salutes you with a shaking hand, and a ghost of his usual stern expression returns to his wrinkled face. Feel really bad for Abelard.
Let us not dawdle.
Alright, let's do lethal threat. Enemies hit by the character with a melee attack must pass a willpower resistance test, or make the character their priority target until the start of the character's next turn. And I guess we'll grab Defensive Comrade. While the Vanguard has at least one ally in a 2-cell radius, the Vanguard gains % parry. Not that he often gets hit regardless.
Nothing's impossible for this
I
old
always have
officer.
a backup plan.
Alright, so I think we're done down here for now. Let's go and equip Abelard. Alright, I'm gonna call it here. Next time we return to the chasm. I think with Argenta in the party, we should be able to shoot down that
Always
body.
keep your eye on the prize.
And we'll go from there. We still have a lead on Jai. I'd like to find more companions before we take on Malice, because we're not entirely sure how tough that fight's going to be. I remember the Slith were difficult beforehand. Or at least very tanky. And we're under-equipped at this stage, so we'll take our time. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.